Okay, now that we've done the top header, so this is currently what our web page looks like. Okay, you'll notice that the colors from my last tutorial are a bit different. How I've just done it, so they're very pastely contrasting colors, which are more visible for you to look at rather than just random colors. Now that we understand um, the actual layout of our website, we can actually use proper colors that are more visible rather than just random ones that we picked. Anyways, let's move on. What we can do now is basically we've done the header. So if you look at example website, next thing is this navigation bar here. So we're going to work on that navigation bar. So let's go to our HTML script and we're going to go into the nav section. Now, okay, notice if you haven't noticed already, notice every time I add something new. So I've done a div there. Then second one, I've indented it. Then the images, I've indented that. So the same way, what we're going to do is go into a div tag. And we're going to indent that div tag. Sorry, we're going to indent, and what we're going to do is put some ULs in. So UL, and then we're just going to close that UL off. Now, what a UL is a unordered list. So we're going to have a list of items in here, and we're going to put them in no particular order. Okay, so firstly, I'll put them in, and then you'll see what it looks like. So firstly, we're going to do li, so that's list item. Okay, and then that's going to be followed by ahref. So a tag is basically for links. So you're going to have a link related to or linked, sorry, associated with that list item, and that link is going to be index.html. Okay, so we're going to do index.html. We're going to close that tag off, type in home, and then we're going to close both the a tag off and then also the list tag. Okay, so what you've done now is you put a list item in there. Now that list item is a href, so it's a link, so a link to a certain page. So that page is index.html. And if you watch my previous videos, you know index.html is the universal name given to the home page of any website. In between that is home, the word home, so what this link represents, and then you close those tags off. Make sure when you write home, whatever you type here, make sure whatever's in between these tags is what's going to be displayed on your screen. So if we view our web page now, you'll notice there's a bullet point and it's got home next to it. Okay, so now we're going to copy and paste that 4 times. Okay, you can copy and paste this as many times as you want depending on how many pages you're going to have in your web page. So we can change that. We're going to change that to home page, possibly about us. We may have a page for gallery, and finally a contact us page. Okay, so now if you notice, if we check that out, you've got 4 now names there, or 4 list items: home, about us, gallery, and contact us. Notice there's bullet points after that. So remember when I said we did UL is for unordered list. Okay, that brings out bullet points. Now if we change that to OL, if we change our UL to OL, you'll notice that now those bullet points turn into numbers. So that's the difference between a UL unordered list and an OL ordered list. Okay, we're going to go change it back now for UL. Okay, so now that we've done that, okay, currently this does not look like a navigation. You've got the numbers, you've got you've got a list of numbers, you've got the names, and obviously that's not how you want it. Also, you've got this margin here, top and bottom, which we'll remove in a bit. Okay, so now what we need to do is style these. So style these in a way, let me just change that. Okay, we're going to style that in a way to make it look like navigation bars. Obviously, also what you need to remember is that even though we've got index.html, we need to change them as well. So we may have a page called about. We haven't made these yet, but just for future reference or just for to make life easier later on when you do create these pages, you can have these links already available. Notice, remember once again, lowercase, no uppercase words. Avoid using uppercase, okay, because then you will limit the chance of getting an error later on. So use lowercase at all times for anything related to your script. So any HTML script, any CSS script. Okay, this in black is fine because that's the text that's going to be displayed on your actual web browser. So for that, it doesn't matter. But when it comes to naming files, you name them using lowercase. Okay, so now that we've done that, what we can do is go to our style sheet, and then where navigation is, background color, I'm going to leave. Okay, so what we can do is now style these. So firstly, what I'm going to do is clear both. Clear both. Now on the screen, you probably wouldn't see much. Okay, nothing happens. But what that does is when you do have your navigation bar, so let me look at my example later on. Okay, if I have this navigation bar here, this all this space, both left and right side, what it'll do is clear anything from being added to it. As you know, when you put two images together, if you don't do any CSS styles, both those images will be next to each other, side by side. But if you do clear both, it avoids or gets rid of that from happening. Okay, so nav and then clear both. What we're going to do now is add a new style. We're going to call it .nav ul. Okay, so now the .nav ul, what that does, it targets the ul inside the nav div. So if we look back at HTML script, we've got an ul which is inside the nav. Now if I didn't do .nav ul, and if I had a ul in my unordered list or ul inside this tab, what it will do, it'll target both of them. So meaning any changes you make to that ul, it will do it for both of these, but we only want to target the one inside banner. So therefore we do nav and then ul because we want to target the ul in the navigation div and no other ul. Okay, nav ul, and then properties we're going to put in there is background color. We want that background color to be the same as the one before, so just going to copy and paste that from here. Okay, then we're going to follow that by float left. Okay, then followed by margin equals 0 pixels, and width equals 100%. Okay, 100%. Sorry, 100%. Oh, spelled that wrong. So let's check that. So now, if we refresh that, oops, sorry. Okay, so that's now 100%. So now, if you look at the width, it's actually sticking out a bit, but we're going to look at later on why it is doing that. What we're going to do now also is we're going to do .nav, add a next property, not .nav, ULLI. So what this does is targets the list item inside the navigation, inside which is inside the UL. Sorry, so the list item which is inside the UL, which is inside the nav div. Okay, and what we're going to do is display inline. I'll close that off. Oops, nearly forgot to close that off. Okay, now if we check that, now it's gone into a line. The reason that's happened is, remember previously or in other tutorials where we've looked at different types of CSS, inline, embedded, and external. So just like that, inline means going across, it's in line with each other. So now those list items have now come in line. Okay, so now it's starting to look like a navigation bar. What we also need to do is we're going to put some padding on it. Sorry, we're going to target the ULLI. What we're also going to do is add the padding around it. So this line that's sticking out, the reason it's sticking out is because currently there's padding at the front of this link. So what we're going to do is go to margin, sorry, not here, so nav ul, and we're writing padding, and we're going to change that to 0 as well. Hopefully it should move to the left. Okay, as you can see, now it's moved in line with the actual wrapper. Notice, just like before, this changes according to the size of the website. Okay, because we've done 100%. If you did pixels, that wouldn't happen. Now we're gonna have another style dot nav ul lia. So we're targeting the a tag, which is inside the list item, which is inside a ul, and overall that ul is inside a nav. So nav ul li a, and what properties we're gonna put for that is we're gonna do float left followed by padding 10 pixels 20. So if you looked at previous tutorials, you notice 10 pixels for top and bottom, 20 is for left and right. And underneath we're going to do font family. I'm just going to do normal Arial. Okay, so now if we refresh that, okay, we've got this slight navigation here now going on. So we've got our pages 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't worry about the bottom yet. We're just concentrating on that. So now that we've got our buttons, we need to highlight as there would be navigation. We need to remove this blue text, and we also need to remove the underlining. So to do that, okay, sorry, we didn't close that off. That's why that happened. Okay, that's closed off now. Now to remove that, the underlining. Okay, to do underlining, what we normally do is text decoration and do underline. So we're going to do opposite. We're going to have no text decoration. So just like padding, we remove the padding. Margin, we remove the margin. We're going to do the same thing for the text. Okay, so what we're going to do is dot nav the a tag inside dot nav and the link. Okay, when it's a link, so when it's a hyperlink, so what that does is dot nav target the a tag inside the dot nav div, and when it's a link, it does these properties, or it does these styles. So text hyphen decoration equals none. What we're going to do is text hyphen align, and we're going to do left. The color of the text, color, I'm just going to do it as black. So let's just do black and then close that off. Okay, there you go. Text decoration is now removed from that link. Now what we're going to do is, obviously we need to have a style for when it hovers over. So we're going to copy that one. We're going to paste that there. And what we're going to do, I'm going to change the link to the word hover. We don't need text decoration. We don't need that. Okay, text. We're going to change that color of that text. So this time we're going to make it white. And obviously background color, we're going to make black. Okay, now check that out. Now if you highlight over it, as you can see, we can, when we hover over it, it's created this navigation link. So that's how you create a navigation link in CSS using HTML. What you could also do if you wanted to, as previously you may have done border / radius, and if we do that at 10 pixels, what that should do is give those curved edges. Okay, as you can see, you can have actually curved edges on those buttons. Okay, you can do what you want with these navigation buttons, make them look how you want to, so that's down to you. Okay, so that's how you create navigation in a HTML website.